Today we're going to be working or talking, not working, we've been working for a while doing the major scales. But if you haven't seen those, link, not link, but description, no, it's not in the description, but actually scroll down below. YouTube is always changing. But scroll down below and you can find those major scales that I'm working on. Every major scale for free at your disposal here on Project Sax for the saxophones. We are, don't worry about that outside notes. But we are working on trying to get more free episodes out to you guys, free lessons out to you guys. So don't sleep on it and don't be like, oh, there's not uploading. Maybe I'm uploading or working on a lot of stuff just not uploading. But uploading is harder and harder every day. So today we're going to be talking about saxophones and the value of a good saxophone. Now, the value of a good saxophone is everything. Unlike a brass instrument where you can put it in a tub, you can scrub a dub with it, this saxophone is totally different. Woodwind instrument in general is totally different. When you have pads and different intricate things that could go wrong with it that can tear up your tone tremendously and tear up your effort. Even my saxophone right now is not in the best condition it can be in. I mean, it's not the worst, of course not, but it's not in the best. You know, usually you always going to get damages to your woodwind instrument. Now, trumpets, they can probably go 5 years without getting, you know, just make sure you oil it up, swallow it out, let you go, you know, but no. For the saxophone, you probably have to get this, you know, every 1.5 years to 2 years, get looked at, or depending on what level you are, you might have to get checked up every year until you get it to the point where you can actually take care of it to the way you need it. But a good saxophone is very imperative to your learning because let's go back in history with my personal experiences. I had a friend who actually knows a lot about saxophones, but when I went to go get my saxophone, it was a used saxophone, and he was just trying to get me on the map. He wasn't really, you know, checking for absoluteness out of the saxophone, and come to find out that the saxophone had various issues with it. Now, he's a good saxophone player. I'm not saying that he's trying to put me in a bad position, but he's just trying to get me on the map. He wasn't trying to, you know, say, here's the perfect saxophone, we have the money to afford it here. No, we had to do what we had. So this was the best saxophone that he could find at the time. So, you know, and it turns out it had a lot of leaks in it. It had a lot of degradation in it. And I mean, degradation on the saxophone, maybe what I mean by that is strip lacquer, but that's not the point. The problem is the padding and the actual mechanics of the horn, which is not working. It worked just good enough. And then my band teacher in middle school was like, well, if you can blow it, you can play it. So that's how I was able to play the saxophone. But since that horn was not in its best condition, I was a year and a half blowing on a horn that did not have its prime feel, its prime working condition. So it took me double the amount of air to play one note than it would any other note, or twice as much effort to do what on here, whatever that was. But it took twice the effort. So I was sitting there like, I can't do this. But you say, Devin, why would you play a saxophone like that? Well, first off, as a beginner, you don't know. You ask people, you're like, it's kind of hard to play, Mom. That's what I actually said. She was like, well, it's a saxophone. It's supposed to be hard to play. So I just kept practicing, and I practiced a lot for a little. And it was really hard for me to practice and keep practicing. I kept losing faith as a young instrumentalist, but I never really thought about quitting. I just kind of lost faith in my ability to be a good instrumentalist or a good saxophone player until, you know, I got a new saxophone. I was able to play somebody else's saxophone on my mouthpiece, and I was like, wow, this is totally different from my saxophone. I was like, wow. And I never knew. I just kept looking at my saxophone, and then I had private lessons in about 7th grade once I got out of the beginner band, and it changed my world. My lessons teacher was like, hey, this saxophone is just not in good condition, and I really advise you to get it fixed. And I was like, okay, but I've been playing on it ever since I've been in middle school. He was like, do you take care of it? I was like, yeah, I take care of it, but it's a used saxophone, so whatever damages it had on before, plus whatever damages I got on it now, you know, as being a middle school beginner. So a lot of people were like, wow. And then that kind of propelled me, you know, once I got it fixed, I was like, oh, this is 10 times better than what it was before. It's totally easy to play saxophone now. So, you know, that gave me a really good performance booster when it came to playing this thing. You know, now I thought I could do anything. You know, not only does that harsh, I guess, all those leaks make it harsh on your lungs to produce a note, but once I was able to get a decent saxophone, that note came out like butter. You know, even the low B flat, I was playing my second year, ease. Why? Because I tried to play the low B flat when I was in 6th grade and it didn't work. So when you know, that's why I like to sit and like to whisper the low notes. If you hear me playing, I like to play like my mentor Stephen Riley and my mentor Stanley Baird. When I play my low register, because it's easy to play it loud. It's easy to honk a horn, but it's not easy to play it soft, subtle, and not only soft and subtle, but the lowest note, soft and subtle. So it's very, very important. I say all that to say it's very important to have a good saxophone. It could change a lot of stuff, you know. But I'm kind of blessed because I was able to have that hardship and not knowing what a saxophone, but not giving up, not knowing what a good saxophone sounds like, but not giving up, and actually able to get something that sounds good. Now I know where I need to go. So this is Devin wishing you good sound, and get a good saxophone. Make sure you keep it in good condition.